Hi everyone, welcome to another battle report with Banana for Scale Gaming, Wargaming rather. You're here with me, John and Mike today. We're playing a Craftworld Harlequins versus World Eater Chaos Space Marines list today, so Mike's going to kick us off with his Space Marine list. Over to you.
Hello, Internet. I am Michael, as John kindly introduced me. This is my World Eaters Khorne battalion. I've got a Forge Fiend with 3 ectoplasm guns, 2 Demon Princes, 1 with imaginary wings. I've got 2 Rhinos, my Land Raider with las cannons. Both Rhinos have got Havoc launchers. I've got 2 lots of cultists, groups of 10, 2 lots of berserkers, 1 group with chain swords, 1 group with chain axes, and then my juicy obliterators. Not quite built to match level yet, and obviously everything's not painted quite as I would like, but adulting sucks. And that's my army.
Alright, so welcome back. This is my Craftworld and Harlequin list. First time running this. Again, this isn't completely painted. There's a lot of stuff that needs a lot of work. We are sort of trialling tournament lists as such, so I don't think anyone wants to fully paint their army till they're happy with what they've got. So this is my next outing. I have an Air Wing detachment, Craftworld Air Wing detachment. They're Alatok, just 3 standard Hemlock Wraith fighters because they're awesome. I've then got an Outrider detachment, which has got the Shadow Seer as its HQ, and 3 squads of 2 Skyweavers. These Skyweavers are all taking the Haywire Cannons and Zephyr Glaives as their weapons. The Shadow Seer is my Warlord for today. He's got the powers Fog of Dreams and Shard of Light, and he's also, as in my Warlord, he's got the Mask of Secrets relic, which gives him a leadership buff, but also debuffs leadership for other units within, I think it's 6 inches, but I'll double check that before the game anyway. They are a Soaring Spike detachment, so that's advance, move, shoot, all that sort of gumph. We then got a Vanguard detachment, which again is Soaring Spikes. HQ is a Troop Master, which I'm using a solitaire model for today, just because he's a bit more easily distinguishable in an unpainted state. He has got 2 squads of 5 troops with him. They are all running Fusion Pistols and Harlequins Embrace for today. See how I get on with those. They can be embarked on these 2 Star Weavers, and then the last bit I have is these squad of 3 Death Jesters over here. Not used them before. A lot of people say they're fairly rubbish, but again, with leadership debuffs pretty much everywhere on the table, I think you can probably see what I'm going for.
What are these called?
These are Hemlock Wraith Fighters.
Where's the Alatok ones?
Them.
Kind of sounds like something else, doesn't it? Okay, this is Michael with his Chaos Space Marines Khorne army. Going through my deployment. Got my Land Raider deployed here. He's not got anything in him. One of my HQs, Demon Prince there. Got a Rhino deployed there, with 10 Berserkers with chainswords in. 10 cultists there. Forge Fiend, my Warlord, and another 10 cultists there. And then another Rhino there in the shadows with 10 Berserkers in him as well.
In the shadows!
And we're doing Search and Destroy, and then John up next for his deployments.
Right, here we go. Here's my deployment. Ooh. Lots of deployment there. Happy with it. Generally, I've got first turn. So we have got the 3 Hemlocks at the back here. One has Horrify, one has Jinx, and one has Restrain. And all 3 have Smite. Hemlocks are good. We then got, unfortunately these bases, as everyone knows, are terrible, so it looks like everything's nosediving and flying about. That will be fixed. I'm in the middle of trying to magnetise them, see? But so we've got 1 Star Weaver here. This one's got the Shadow Seer and a troop in it. We've got another one, which is going, will be under here once the base is magnetised. That one's got a troop and the Troop Master in it. We've got 2 blobs of 2 Sky Weavers with their cannons here, and the other blob over there, again, base needing securing. And then I've got Death Jesters dotted, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. I've got first turn here. We're playing secure and control, so my objective marker is just there. Michael's is behind that big lichen-filled tower at the back. We are playing an interesting sort of spin on the current FAQ'd deep strike rules. So we don't allow, or we're going to try out not allowing the player with the first turn to deep strike out of their own deployment zone, but the player who takes his first turn second can deep strike. So Michael over here can deep strike anywhere on the table in his turn. Not an official rule, but that's what we're trying this time. So let's go on to CRAFTQUINS turn 1.
That one.
Right, there we go. So that's the end of CRAFTQUINS movement and psychic phase turn 1. I kept some of the jet bikes back here, all still falling off their bases, just because obviously we've said Mike can deep strike and he does have some stuff in there who can at the moment. So I want to protect my objective first turn until I know where he's coming down. All the hemlocks moved up various places. We tried their psychic powers. This one cast Horrify for minus on leadership on these cultists. This one attempted to cast Restrain on the demon prince just hiding down there, but unfortunately I got a 6 on the 7, which is unfortunate for me. And this one managed to get Jinx off against the Rhino just here. So other than that, a few things moved up. That Star Weaver moved up. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of that phase. So on to shooty phase. Turn 1. Whoop. There we go, end of the shooting phase, in fact end of the full phase for me there. So we started off, used this hemlock against the Rhino and took down 8 wounds. Unfortunately this hemlock didn't have any line of sight on it, so he had to shoot the Forge Fiend, and he used his invulnerable saves on a 5-up, didn't he? Bastard. Whoop. This hemlock on the other hand shot the other Rhino, managed to pop the bugger. And he lost, I think it was 3 cultists and 1, was it?
I lost 3 berserkers and 1 cultist.
3 berserkers, 1 cultist in that, sorry.
And he took 2 wounds.
He took 2 wounds on his demon prince as well, which is nice for me.
Because it went boom!
We then shot a shuriken at the corn berserkers, and I believe took 1 more out there, didn't we? 1 more out with a 6 on a wound roll.
Has to achieve it. You
know, so that was the end of that turn. We then did some leadership rolls. He lost another berserker to leadership because of the -2 there. Lost another cultist to leadership, and then used a stratagem to auto pass here because these guys were like -5 leadership, so they were going to flee like a bad man. So that's the end of my turn. On to Michael's Chaos Marines Corn Bad Boys turn 1.
Okay, end of Chaos Space Marines turn 1 movement. So I moved my Land Raider back here slightly, repositioned the Rhino and disembarked these berserkers who have moved up on a bit of a suicide mission. Forge Fiend stayed where he is. Moved up my Warlord a little bit, not sure what I'm doing with him yet, but we shall see. Advanced my cultists 1 inch, advanced these cultists 6 inches. Bit of a meat shield jobby there again, going for the Blood Gods, suicide. Pushed up these berserkers. We're not sure, because this model is a flyer and obviously the berserkers aren't, whether they can sort of just run underneath it, because my target is over there. So sort of looking up going, what the hell?
We're saying yes, they can.
So we're saying yes at the moment, but correct us if we're wrong. And then my other Demon Prince is loitering here with intent, and we'll see what he does really, depending on what the shooting phase brings. And that is the end of my movement phase. On to the shooting phase. Okay, Chaos, turn 1, movement and... No, shooting phase, sorry, because I've already done the movement phase. So Land Raider, shot, Combi Bolter, Havoc Launcher, Heavy Bolter, Las Cannons into this bad boy here. And he had a -2, and then you did a lightning fast reaction stratagem on it. So I did originally do a Demon Forge stratagem on here. So it ended up I had a 6+ to hit with all of that. But even so, managed to bring it down to 1 wound, which wasn't too bad. Then that was with the Forge Fiend firing at it as well, but that was a 6 up to hit again. And he had 3 ectoplasm guns and scored 1 wound with that, so that was glorious. My Rhino over here, because he's so crippled, couldn't even shoot at him because he would have needed an 8 to hit. So he had a little pop at this fella over here. Sorry, I was going to swear then. And did absolutely nothing. And he had a little pop at this fella over here. What are they called?
Starweaver.
Starweaver. And so did my berserkers under there. Had a shot at the Starweaver, and we didn't really do anything at all. Cultists advanced. John kindly let me beam in my obliterators because I forgot before, and they had a shot at this guy and took him down to 4 wounds, which was pretty good. Rolled a 3 plus 6 for the strength, and then rolled a 3 for the minus AP, and then rolled a 2 for the damage, so it ended up quite nice. Forgot to say that the berserkers over here, they did supercharged for 2 plasma pistols, and I rolled a 1 on one of them, so he exploded a fiery ball of death. And did the same over here with these berserkers. Fortunately, none of them died, but and they didn't do anything again. So overall, not too bad. Obliterators were a nice little sneak attack, so thanks for John for letting me play that. Obviously not tournament, but let's do this! On to the charge phase. So, Berserk, Chaos, end of charge and combat phase. So, the old Demon Prince charged onto the, what's that called? The
Hemlock.
The Hemlock.
Just call it Hemlock.
That means something else. Destroyed that. He did a flying winged attack and chopped down his Hellforged sword and messed him up.
Some wounds in Overwatch as well, then.
Yeah, he went from 6 down to 2 wounds, but it was worth it. I had to commit there. And then the Berserkers made a tremendous Berserker run, Blood for the Blood God, stormed over and destroyed the Starweaver. Absolutely messed him up, but then he exploded and I lost to 1 Berserker. And then he disembarked his troops there. They didn't suffer any losses. And then this...
he lost a wound from the explosion, didn't he?
He lost a wound from the explosion. Starweaver there.
And that was the end of the charge phase, combat phase. So now over turn 2 to John.
Woo. Right, that's the end of my turn 2 because I forgot to video any of it. So I've moved both my Hemlocks up, one with 4 wounds and the one with all of his wounds. Managed to do a bit of shooting on the obliterators and took them all out, which is kind of what I needed to do. Death Jester here shot the cultists in front of him, managed to kill one with his normal shooting. Then they suffered D3 mortal wounds because they had a wound taken off, which lost another 3. And as you can see, the rest of them have just disappeared off the table because they had -2 from the Hemlock, -2 from that, lost 4 people. They're not going anywhere, basically. Few more bits of shooting. Death Jester tried to shoot the Khorne Berserkers over here, didn't manage anything. Shot a few other bits, didn't really manage anything, so we charged in. Charging the Berserkers first with the Skyweaver jet bikes. They didn't lose anything to Overwatch. We then charged in with the Troop and the Troop Master. Got into combat with the Troop Master within 6 inches. We got to re-roll failed wounds and managed to get 10 wounds at -3 AP with their Harlequins Embraces, which saw off all of the Harlequins. So that's the end of my turn 2. Over to Michael for Khorne Chaos turn 2.
Revenge.
Okay, Chaos turn 2 movement phase.
Move this Demon Prince, my Warlord, up onto the top there. Gonna smash and pony into that. Move my Land Raider out from over there, just forwards to get him within 12 inches of this. Berserkers advanced around the corner here. Move my other Demon Prince up. He's going to lay some pain into that, hopefully. Forge Fiend, just stay where he was, because he's going to shoot at this bugger. And then me Rhino limped 3 inches forwards, just to, I don't know, he's hoping for the best read, to be honest. And then I used a stratagem, Tide of Traitors on my cultists. Took them off the board and then brought them back full strength, 6 inches in the edge and 9 inches away from the enemy for a little sneak attack. Just to be a pain in the buttocks, really, for John. And then, let's do this! Okay, end of Chaos turn 2. So, my Rhino and the Forge Fiend and Demon Prince all shot into the what was that called, sorry?
The Hemlock.
The Hemlock.
With 4 wounds left.
With 4 wounds left. And amazingly, the Rhino managed to do 2 wounds as he limped past, and then the Demon Prince managed to do another 2 wounds with his Warp Bolter. Forge Fiend did bugger all, but he was hitting on 6s. And Land Raider unleashed fiery hell into this Hemlock and
got him down to 5 in the end, with the las cannons getting a cheeky hit in.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I moved my Demon Prince up here to charge the Hemlock there, but old Monkey Boy John put a debuff on me and halved my movement. So I couldn't charge him because obviously he was dead. So I was going to try and charge him, but I would have needed 14, which obviously is impossible to roll. So after that, my Demon Prince over here fired his Warp Bolter into the Star Weaver. Didn't do any damage, then charged it and absolutely cut it in 2 as he crawled over. He took a wound in Overwatch, but still managed to drag his sword in and bring it down in a powerful chop and nutted him one. So he exploded. He went down, didn't explode, and then these guys jumped off in a panic as the demon was coughing up blood. And that is it for me. I think I'm about to get wrecked, but been a good game so far. Been a good game. Good game. Good game.
Good game. Good game. Good game. Good game. Good game. Start again. There we go. So movement and psychic phase done for me there. So we moved our final Hemlock up to the back of the field. That's where his objective marker is. Hemlock can't capture it, but you know you can get over there. He cast Restrain on the Demon Prince again, and it went off. We then jumped the Troop and Shadow Seer forward a bit. Cast one of his 2 powers. We cast Smite on the Demon Prince and got rid of him. Then we tried to cast Shards of Light on this unit of Berserkers that are left there. That would have given us, if we'd gone off on a 7, D3 mortal wounds and -1 leadership, which would have been lovely on those, but unfortunately didn't go off. Other than that, we've moved this Chester just forward a bit. These Sky Weavers just back to try and take care of some of the guys back here. These guys and the Harlequin Troop and the Troop Master got 6-inch advances to their normal movement, which is excellent. Move these bikes over here and they fell off their stands, and move these bikes over here. So we'll see what we can get done in this next turn. Shooting phase for CraftQuINS.
Bring it.
Right, so end of the shooting phase. We unloaded some haywire cannons over here into the 2-wound Rhino and took about 15 wounds, I think. But yeah, it was going to.
He died like this though.
Yeah. Used the Hemlock over here, shots at the Land Raider, and I believe he took 4 wounds on that one.
5.
The 5th wound was from another run of haywires over here, wasn't it? So that got down 5 wounds. All my Death Jesters missed everything. They were rubbish that turn.
Yep.
Some pistols, fusion pistols, hit there, did a bit of damage. I think they got 2 down there. We then tried the hallucinogen grenade launcher just because I haven't used it before. Not really suited to leadership, sort of, well, they're not bad leadership 7, but would have been better against cultists. But that did nothing. And shot a few of the haywire cannons here into these cultists, just to thin numbers. So we're on to the charge phase. Whoop, 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 whoop. Right, so there's the end of the charge phase for me. It was a bit of a non-starter, really. I charged in these 2 Sky Weavers. They did a bit of damage, managed to take out 2 of the cultists with their Zephyr glaives rather. I attempted to charge in the Troop and the Shadow Seer. Troop first. Needed a 4-inch charge to get within 1 inch, and I rolled double 1. No re-rolls for me, unfortunately. Then I rolled a 11 with my Shadow Seer, who got into combat, managed to take one of the guys out, and thankfully didn't take any damage back. So end of my turn there. Still plenty to do. That's the end of my turn 3. So over to Michael.
Pasty for scale.
Pasty for scale.
Right, Chaos turn 3. Movement and shooting phase. So I didn't move anything because he was locked in combat. He was already there. And I wanted to keep the force field there.
And their combat as well, weren't they?
And me cultists over in the corner there were in combat. So we went straight onto the shooting phase. Me Forge Fiend shot at these twats and did nothing because the Mirage -1 hit modifier, and these are 4-ups, I think 5-ups, and nothing. 1 got through, but then it's saved. Me Land Raider shot all his guns into the
Hemlock
cock, and only managed to take off 4 wounds, even though I put Demon Forge on there. Last cannons ruined it for me. And Demon Prince fired his Warp Bolter into that. Got a couple of hits, but didn't do anything there either. So we're going to go into the fight phase. Not charging anything because he's put Quicken Restrain on me again on there, so I can't actually charge anything. I'm out of range. and he's going to fight that and die. So this should be fun. But, you know, I'm still upbeat, might win. So end of chaos, turn 3. Yeah, fought over here. Did a wound, and he survived. Whee! And then over here, cultists. We did a quick morale test because we forgot to do it, and I lost 1. And then they banged their little knives on the metal there. Just went, hey, and did nothing. And then he fought back and murdered him. Stop knocking on my door.
So one left there though, still in combat.
He's won, yeah. So he's holding that up. So yeah, it's looking very bleak, but you know, might still win.
Right, so CRAFTQUINS turn 4. We're encompassing the movement phasing first. So movement, I moved the hemlock here. These bikes moved sideways a bit. The bikes who took out the Rhino have moved up to give themselves line of sight on that Land Raider. These bikes moved away to leave the combat, and the Harlequin troop and Shadow Seer moved up here. With the psychic phase, we attempted to cast Restrain on the Demon Prince, failed for the first time on turn 4, which is a shame because obviously he's got movement now. We then cast Smite over here, and that was that. Then moved on to the shooting phase. We managed to take out the remaining cultist, who was there. He's gone. We took a load of wounds off the tank of the Land Raider. How many did we get there, Mike?
9.
9 wounds from the haywire cannons on 2 lots of 2 bikes. Potent weaponry, that is. And unfortunately, the first time in this game that the D-sides on the Hemlocks haven't done any good. So, yeah, on to...
3 invuln saves.
3 invuln saves saved him there.
Boom!
But, yeah, on to the charge phase.
Here we go.
There we go, so end of combat phase. I managed to charge around the corner, so didn't suffer any overwatch. Managed to whack him down to 2 wounds. What's he start with?
12.
12, so 2 wounds in 1 round of combat with a troop master and 5 Harlequins. They are beastie in combat. So that's the end of my whole turn. It's on to Chaos turn 4.
Yes. So, combined Chaos turn 4 movement and shooting phase. Didn't do any movement, stayed where I was, looking pretty. Land Raider shared all his shots out. So we did Combi Bolter into these and managed to do one wound. We did Havoc Launcher into these and managed to do 1 wound. We did Las Cannon into these and missed. And then we did Heavy Bolter into the Helmcock here and did 1 wound and it went boom and died. So now we're going to go into the charge and fight phase. Woo! Chaos charge and fight phase. I only had one thing I could really do. Old Demon Prince Areno here charged in on these troops. Slaughtered 2 of them. Got unlucky with me wound rolls. So they fought back and then hit me for 4 wounds. So it wasn't really a very good fight phase, unfortunately. That was my last ditch attempt, I think, the Alamo. But it's all over. We'll just wait for John to take his turn. CRAFTQUIN turn 5.
Right, there we go. End of CRAFTQUINS turn 5. Psychic, movement and shooting all encompassed in one because there's not a lot going on. So we moved the Death Jester up a little bit to here. Moved this one back onto my objective and just kept him where he is. These bikes, I believe, stayed where they were. The Harlequins jumped out of combat and they've headed over here. Advanced to get to where his objective is, because I want that. There you go. These Harlequins advanced with the Shadow Seer. These bikes are the ones who moved up. I think we had a set here. So one set moved up, the other set moved over. That was that. We then cast Smite on the Forge Fiend and took him down 1 wound. Unfortunately, only had 2, so if I managed to get a better wound roll on the D3, I would have taken him. Then cast Fog of Dreams on the Demon Prince, which gives him -1 to attack, well, basically hit rolls in general against Harlequin units. This Death Jester fired and missed, as per. I then shot the Land Raider with these 2 haywire cannons, took it out. These 2 haywire cannons shot the Forge Fiend, took it out. And these 2 haywire cannons shot at the Demon Prince and did nothing. Did 1 wound, I think, didn't they? Not sure. But anyway, that's where we were there. So we're on to the charge phase, which is where things might or might not happen.
So I can turn it around!
Yeah. So, yeah, on to charge phase. Right, there we go. That's end of turn, CRAFTQUINS turn 5, and that's the end of the game. Unfortunately, there has been a tabling. We've managed to slay the Demon Prince, charged in a pair of the Skyweavers, and then charged in the Harlequins, left the Troop Master at the back there so he can claim that objective. Tried to charge in the Shadow Seer and his lot of troops, missed it, couldn't get in. Yeah, but basically he went into combat, and Harlequins are good in combat, aren't they? They did the job, took 4 wounds off him, off his invulns, so that's the game over. I think in total I got Slay the Warlord, Line Breaker and First Blood, and also got 3 points, victory points for this defending and 3 for this one, so that gives me well, 9 victory points to 0 in this instance, unfortunately. So crushing victory, but that's the type of game type we were playing. It was always going to be.
It was a good game. It was a good game. Did well. I was happy. Berserkers didn't really do much. They weren't very useful against you.
I think the cultists were really good, weren't they?
The cultists, they sucked up a lot of fire actually, and using the stratagem helped me out a little bit.
It kept me from moving more haywire cannons up the table, and as we saw, when you get those shooting, they can cause damage to vehicles, can't they? So.
Yeah, I think I needed a couple of hell brutes with some las cannons and some missile launchers. Could have helped bring yours down. There was just no point in bringing any close combat, but it's cool, isn't it? You know, and that's what they're made for. But against your army,
I think Harlequins and Craftworld in general, they've all got such good hit modifiers on everything. They're difficult to play against.
And the hit modifiers just absolutely wrecked me. Every time I got like a big hitter on you or something, it was always -1, -2 to hit. And
-3 in some instances.
In some cases, it just made it an absolute nightmare. But it was a really good game though.
Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. As I said, apologies again for unpaintedness of armies, but we are trialling sort of tournament lists potentially, so there is sort of some work to do, tweaking before we decide what we're going to paint. But yeah, thanks Mike. Thanks for watching everyone. Like, subscribe, follow, and thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.